10th start. And the first pitch of the ball game is on its way, and it's a fastball high. So we get started on time, and it's 60 degrees. And the 1-0 to Schumacher, a left-handed hitter, and he hits a high foul down the left field line. Lewis giving chase, but it's going to be 3 rows back, right where the tarp is stored, right down by the Giants bullpen, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Schumacher hitting .310, 3 home runs, 14 driven in. In at third is Uribe and the 1-1 delivery, and Schumacher swings and fouls it through the legs of Benji Molina, 1-2. As Dave may have mentioned, Schumacher converted to the second base position, although if you look at the box scores, he'll play 7 or 8 innings at second and then usually end up in the outfield for the 8th or 9th inning. The 1-2 pitch, swinging a line drive, foul down the left field line, and it stays 1-2. The Cardinals welcome a couple of players back, Ryan Ludwig and Rick Ankiel. Ludwig in the lineup, Ankiel is not. The 1-2 delivery, swinging a foul off the backstop. 95 on the radar gun at the ballpark, 92 on the NBC 11 radar gun. So it's right around 93.5 or so. 1-2. The pitch. Swinging a shot into center field. Rowan going back. Now he slows down as he moves towards left center, and he puts it away. 1 out. Schumacher retired, and here's Chris Duncan. The first 3 hitters in this Cardinal lineup are the only hitters that have history against Matt Cain. Duncan has some history, 2 for 4 with a home run. On the year for Chris Duncan, he's hitting .257, 4 home runs, 26 driven in, and he takes a breaking ball down low. Just underway here at the ballpark. Glad you joined us. Sit back and enjoy Giants and Cardinals in Game 1 of this 3-game series. Cain winds and throws, and Duncan takes a strike. Fastball on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Albert Pujols is on deck. And the 1-1 pitch, and Duncan takes low. Duncan, the son of the Cardinal longtime pitching coach Dave Duncan. Big, strong, left-handed hitter. The 2-1 pitch, swinging a high pop-up. It's Uribe looking at Molina, and now Molina calling, and as he backpedals in fair territory, he makes the catch. Uribe got a late jump on the pop-up, and that left it up to Benji Molina. Not an easy play for a catcher. Here's Pujols. Maybe the best player in baseball right now, Albert Pujols. MVP in 05, MVP in 08. He's hitting .318 with 14 home runs, 40 driven in. The pitch. Fastball, belt high for a strike, and it's 0-1. He's 2 for 5 against Cain. Lifetime with a home run. Big, strong, right-handed hitter. The pitch. Swinging a pop-up, straight back and out of play. It's 0-2. As Cain challenged him with a fastball. Albert Pujols. Waiting, and Cain throws, and it's a breaking ball down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ludwig would hit if Pujols reaches. The 1-2 pitch. Swinging a drive into center field, hit well. Rowan back, still back. Rowan on the track. Rowan makes the catch. And Pujols can't believe that ball didn't go out. So Cain with a 1-2-3 first inning. It's the Cardinals nothing, the Giants coming up.
KNBR 6. 5-4, but a 3.52 ERA in 9 starts. He gives up a lot of hits, walks almost no one, fewest walks per innings pitched of anybody in the National League. And Pinheiro, the ball is in play, doesn't strike out a lot, but he doesn't walk hitters and he doesn't give up home runs. He's a sinker baller and lets his defense work. Those are the kinds of games he has, and he is starting tonight. No score last to the first. Aaron Rowan leads off for the Giants.
So Pinheiro looking into his catcher. Another Molina. And the pitch. And Rowan takes a strike, hitting .279. 5 home runs, 22 driven in. He's 5 for 12 off of Pinheiro with a triple and a couple of home runs, and the next pitch runs inside for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hitting nearly .390 since Bruce Bochy put him in the leadoff spot. Here's the pitch, and Rowan dribbles it foul third base side, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Day off for the Giants yesterday, and they'll have another one on Monday where they will be in Washington, D.C. to begin that series on Tuesday night. The 1-2 pitch to Rowan, swinging another bouncing ball foul as he pulled this one right into the corner of the Giants dugout, third base side. It stays 1-2. After the day off on Monday, 15 games in a row before the Giants will have another one. 1-2 with Renteria watching from the on-deck circle. Pinheiro picks up the target from Molina, and it's going to be a pitch away, and Rowan hits it foul down the right field line and out of play. Sandoval back in the lineup. That'll help the Giants offensively. The 1-2 pitch. Here it is to Rowan, and Rowan takes low and away, 2-2. Laz Diaz, as Dave mentioned, behind the dish, calling balls and strikes. Cardinals with a record of 28-19. The 2-2 pitch. Rowan shoots it to left. Hit well. This is a one-hopper up against the Cards. Rowan rounds the bag at first. He will head in the second with a leadoff double. It took a while, but the Giants found the leadoff hitter. Pinheiro left that one out over the plate, and Aaron Rowan did not miss it.
He's hitting everything hard these days. When he gets hits, they're not just hits. Home runs, extra base hits are coming in bunches for Aaron Rowan. It's nice to see.
It is nice to see. Here's Edgar Renteria, who doesn't have any luck against Pinheiro. He's 1 for 10. But his job, get Rowan in or get him over. And the pitch, and Renteria bunts it out in front of home plate, and picking it up is Pinheiro. His throw to first is in time, and on to third goes Aaron Rowan. 1-3 on the sacrifice bunt. And here's Randy Wynn. You don't see teams that often bunt in the first inning, but I think the Giants, who've done so well record-wise when they score first, obviously would like to get on the board first. So here's Randy Wynn. The infield will play halfway. Rowan with pretty good speed at third. Pinheiro, as Dave said, sinker ball pitcher. And now the infield comes racing in, and Randy Wynn fouls it back on a high sinker, and it's 0-1. And can it be a little disconcerting if you're the hitter and all of a sudden it looks like you're playing another game where 4 guys are running right at you? You start to think that this is recess. The pitch, Randy Wynn takes low and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. And again, the infielders came racing in from their halfway positioning. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ryan and Schumacher are the ones that are racing in the hardest, the middle infielders, and here they come again. And the 1-1 pitch to Randy Wynn, and it's high again. 2 balls and 1 strike. if you say hi and Pinero's on the mound, then that's a good thing, because he does not want to throw any pitches high. None. Now the Cardinals will play the infield back. And now only the shortstop comes racing in. And the pitch to Randy Wynn is outside, 3-1.
Well, this is very entertaining anyway.
Well, yeah, if you like middle infielders crashing in the infield.
It's like the most action-packed situation with a runner at third on the infield defense you'll ever see.
But if you can fracture the concentration of a hitter, why not do it?
Again, just the shortstop moves in. And that is a walk. And it's been a long time since Pinheiro had walked anybody. You have to go all the way back to May the 2nd for his last walk. Benji Molina, his kid brother, Yadier Molina, the catcher.
Did you hear what I read his lips? You say I could tell what he said.
What?
He said, I look better in catcher's gear than you do.
Give Mom a call. Well, the catching Molina brothers, there are 3 of them. And 2 of them that are regular full-time starters. Benji, who is the oldest of the 3 brothers. Jose Molina, the middle brother, a backup catcher for the Yankees, although currently on the disabled list. And then the kid, Yadier Molina, who has become just an outstanding catcher and hitter with the Cardinals. Middle infield, double play depth. Benji high in the air along the right field line. Back into the corner goes Ludwig, and the ball is into the crowd. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's the ball right there that just absolutely blows the minds of right-handed hitters. Because as the wind wraps around the stadium, it comes back into the stadium under the archways in right field. The wind will come back, and it'll come back sort of in the face of a hitter. And for right-handers who hit these long fly balls with topspin on them, they just get killed and they don't travel anywhere.
1-1 the count, and there's that double fake. But Wynn wasn't going anywhere. Wynn leads or is second on the Giants with 8 steals. Burris leads the club with 11. Pujols on the bag with him. The second baseman, Schumacher, well over toward the middle. The right side of the infield is wide open. And the pitch is popped up foul and back into the second deck off to the right. 1-2.
Well, that's how you hit a sinker ball. You try and get him to get the ball up. How do you hit a sinker ball? You look up. You say, well, wait, all of his stuff's going to be down around the knees. That's where most of his stuff's going to wind up. Well, you don't want to hit that ball down around the knees because that's the ball you're going to beat in the ground. Excellent fly ball to ground ball ratio for Pinheiro. He's one of the league's leaders, so you know he's a ground ball pitcher.
1-2. And he gets the ground ball, but pulled foul. 1-2. Now, Benji, the Giants' RBI leader, has not had an RBI. Not one. In 9 games. And he's also only had 3 hits in his last 40 at-bats in those 9 games. But this is a spot where you don't necessarily need a hit to get the RBI. A fly ball hit well enough would do it. With Rowan at third and Wynn at first. No score. 1 out. There goes Wynn. And that hits Benji. And his kid brother Yadier tries to help him up. Got him. It looked like he got him around the left knee. Dave Greshner, the Giants trainer, quickly out to see if Benji needs some assistance.
Yeah, got him just in the right above the left knee, left leg, right in the quad. They'll stick with you for a while. This Charlie horse, they can stick with you for a few days. You know, the one thing, you get hit like that in the quad, right above the knee. You do not want to get, that looks like to the side of the knee. You don't want to get down in a catcher squat. That's for darn sure.
All right, Dave Greshner comes up with all smiles. Benji with Roberto Kelly, the coach, there alongside, and Albert Pujols. So apparently he's okay. We'll find out if he's going to remain okay as the game goes along. But for now, he's going to run the bases here, or hope to run the bases, as Pablo Sandoval comes up. Pablo's first game in several days since he irritated something in his right elbow. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. The middle infield double play depth for the Cardinals. In the dirt with a sinker. 1 ball and no strikes. Rowan at third. Wynn at second. Molina at first.
I think you're going to see the Cardinals challenge Benji Molina and Pablo Sandoval below the strike zone all night long, hoping that they'll swing one of their location pitches. And it may be just that Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, is coming out to talk to Pinheiro now and just stick with the plan. The fear you have if you're Tony La Russa with a hitter like Sandoval who's got power is that you give him a pitch in the strike zone, and with the bases loaded, you fall behind the count. Well, from a pitcher's perspective, that's where you got to go. But when you have an aggressive hitter like Sandoval, you might take a few more stabs at throwing it out of the strike zone. He's a tough guy to walk, and that may be the message that was delivered.
Duncan back to the dugout. Matt Cain, who retired the Cardinals in order in the first half of the inning, looking on. Giants try to stake him to a lead here. Bases loaded, 1 out. That is through, base hit. And Wynn is going to be raved home as Rowan has already scored. The throw is too late from Ryan Ludwig. Molina stops at second. The Giants lead 2-0. Well, they got the ground ball, but the ground ball found a hole.
You know, when you have a nice crowd, you want to try and get them into the game early, and here's a pretty good pitch to hit. Pinheiro elevates this right out there mid-thigh, and for Pablo Sandoval, who loves any mistake, and a mistake to him is simply a ball that's in the strike zone, he is going to wear you out.
The 18th and 19th RBIs of the year for Sandoval. Molina at second, and here is Fred Lewis. And the sinker taken low, ball 1. Lewis is hitting .267, 3 homers, 7 batted in. And he's done well in his career against Cardinal pitching. .371 lifetime average, 35 career at bats. Ooh, that's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You watch a guy take a fastball at 1-0 count. You say, how could he do that? How could he take a fastball? Well, the pitch was away. He was looking in.
In the dirt with the curveball on the count, 2-1 as Yadier Molina blocks that one, keeps it in front of him. The runners had to hold. Although Benji's not much of a threat to take off. It really has to be a wild pitch for Benji to move up.
And it has to be stuck in the screen. But he would like to steal a base on his brother. You know that.
And the sinker. Pretty good eye there again by Fred Lewis. He laid off a couple of those sinkers. It came in at the knees and dipped down. The count is 3-1.
Well, I'm impressed with the patience that Molina showed, that Sandoval showed, and now Fred Lewis. He's worked himself into a 3-1 count. That's a good hitting count.
2 men on, 1 man out. 2 runs already in. And he changed up on him on 3-1. 3-2 the count. Well, the Cardinals, in the last 9 games, no team has scored more than 3 runs against them in that time. And it's a total of 9 runs in the 9 games altogether that the Cardinals have allowed. The Giants have 2 already on the board here and a chance for more. 3-2. And that could be 2. There's 1, and the double play. But the Giants jump ahead with 2. Ludwig coming up against Cain.
Tim Lincecum and Tim Flannery will be there. Travis Ishikawa. There's a parade, and the Little Leaguers are going to be able to run the bases right after the game. So for tickets, visit sfgiants.com, or you can always call 415-972-2298. Come on out to Little League Day, Sunday.
Matt Cain back to work. He's ahead 2-0 as he faces cleanup hitter Ryan Ludwig, just off the disabled list for this game. Hit 37 home runs last year, and that first pitch curveball drops in there for a strike. It was in this ballpark last year, back in April, the last time the Cardinals came here, that Ludwig sort of got people interested in seeing him play more as the ball up and away. He did not play the first game of a 4-game series here last April, but he played the last 3 games and hit home runs in all 3 of them. Now the slider is popped up, shallow right center, and Aaron Rowan. And that is out number 1. Ludwig had 8 homers and 26 RBIs and only had played 30 games at the time that he got hurt. So they have missed him big time after watching him hit 37 home runs last year.
Well, and it's not only what he brings you with productivity offensively, but it's the protection he gives Albert Pujols, the pitches that Pujols gets because he's in the lineup. That's what they miss.
Now here's the Cardinal rookie Colby Rasmus. Tony La Russa, Cardinal manager, talking about him before the game, was very high in his praise of Rasmus. Only 22 years old, as that changeup is in the dirt. Rasmus had a home run at Milwaukee, and although his batting average is only .232, he's got 5 homers, 18 batted in, runs well, and he's been excellent in center field. And the fastball down and in at 94 miles an hour. No swing, says third base umpire Chuck Merriweather on the appeal. So the count is 2-1. The Cardinals have 4 outfielders, and La Russa says they're all basically regulars, and he rotates them. And that's going to be a foul. Right now, it is Rick Ankiel who is not playing. But with Ludwig back, they've got the 4. And one of them will always be out on a given night. Ankiel, who had a frightening collision with a wall in making a spectacular catch, put him down for a while, and that is a swinging strike 3. Low fastball, and that is out number 2. This is the injury to Ankiel.
Well, he stumbled into the wall, and when you see a guy hit this angle in the wall, you're thinking the worst. You're thinking this guy broke his neck. And there he was being taken out the field, giving the crowd the thumb up. But a very scary moment.
Tony La Russa, his manager, went to the hospital that night and stayed with him through the night. There's a single to center by Yadier Molina as the Cardinals first hit. That one went right back at Matt Cain, and he jumped out of harm's way.
Yeah, those are no fun. And we talk about these, I mean, you hear them, they got a low hum, and they smell like burnt cork. And I am not making it up. They stink. And the closer they get to you, the more smell you get. And here's how fast. And, you know, you kind of get rattled, and you get back up straight in a erect position. You try to regain your composure. Not the easiest thing to do when you get whistled.
Now Joe Thurston rips one foul down the right field line back into the crowd. Strike 1. Well, we saw that play Ankiel was involved in, and we are pleased to see him back. He's active. He hadn't played much in the last several days. And La Russa said before the game that there was an area right under his left eye, his right shoulder, his wrist, all banged up, but nothing that was terribly serious. There is Burris. Thurston is retired. 1 hit, 1 left for the Cardinals against Cain. Giants lead 2-0. Juan Uribe coming up.
World Series ring. Benji and Jose with the Angels in 2002, and then Yadier Molina with the Cardinals a couple of years back. And John and Mike, before the game, I don't know if you heard them laughing, but it was like their childhood. Yadier and Benji at the club at the cage having a great time before this game started.
Well, they're all very close, that's for sure, as Juan Uribe takes a called strike from Joel Pinheiro. And I remember when Benji and Jose were both with the Angels as a ball is driven foul off the right field line. I was kidding around with them before the game, so who's better and so on and so forth. And they both said the same thing, and Benji was emphatic about it. He said, the best of the Molina brothers is not here yet. Yadier is going to be way better than all of us. So I don't know if you'd say he's way better, but he's pretty good.
Well, he's real good. And I'll give you another example to back up how good he is. When the Cardinals had the catcher before Yadier Molina, I kind of got fond of that guy, Mike Matheny, and I didn't think they could bring in a better catcher than him. And when they brought this guy, I watched him extremely close to see if he was going to have flaws in his game. And you know what? He did not. A good ball handler, a good target. He frames the low pitch well. He blocks well. He's got a cannon. You can't steal off him. He's the whole package. And he can hit.
And Mike Matheny was not only popular in the Cardinal clubhouse and with the Cardinal pitchers, but especially with Cardinal fans. And they were not cutting Yadier Molina any breaks as the man who replaced him. That is one away as Brendan Ryan throws out Uribe. One gone for the Giants here in the second. They lead 2-0 as Emmanuel Barris will come up. But he has won them over, that's for sure. Cardinal fans were outraged when Yadier Molina did not win the balloting for catcher for the All-Star team. Last year he was playing that well, but he's a weapon behind the plate too. He picks off runners, second base, first base, throws out would-be base stealers. La Russa talks about how many guys don't even attempt to steal just because he's back there. One strike to count to Emmanuel Barris, and you see the last 5 games he's picked it up a little bit. Those 5 games in which the Giants have scored 27 runs, and Barris has hit 500 in that time.
Well, he's taking better swings, and it all starts with better swings. When you have the ability to cover both sides of the plate, and for Emmanuel Barris, it simply was his ability to cover the outside corner and drive that pitch, not just slap at it. And when he got his legs in his swing and started to be able to get bat speed through the outer half of the zone, he started to hit the ball harder. The defense had to back up. They had to respect him. And everything started falling in place.
Switch hitter batting left-handed. And he chases the breaking ball and pops it up. And look out! The third baseman Thurston, the shortstop Ryan bump into one another. And it was Ryan who caught it, although it looked like Thurston was calling for it. 2 down. Comcast Sportsnet has complete Giants coverage on Sportsnet Central every night at 10:30. Comcast Sportsnet, authentic Bay Area sports. Matt Cain, sinker at the knees for a called strike. Cain hitting .214, 3 hits, 14 at bats, and he's had an RBI. Just out and out missed that one. He actually looked like a pitcher.
Well, that's okay. Just don't do that on strike 3. That Cain can hit the ball out of the ballpark as easy as any of the Giants pitchers. I mean, he really has just a strong natural power. And he can hurt you.
Hit 2 last year. And he takes that sinker. Well, he's had a couple of pretty good takes here after getting 0-2.
Now they've got the pitch count up to this next pitch will be number 40 for Pinheiro. That's the goal. Get 20 an inning out of the guy.
That is the inning. And 40 pitches for Pinheiro through 2. Cain will head back to the hill leading 2-0.
prominent Bay Area women athletes during a special discussion designed to inspire girls to play sports and pursue their dreams. The panel includes LPGA's Julie Inkster, Pro Beach Volleyball's Sarah Dukes, and collegiate athletes from Stanford and Cal's nationally ranked volleyball and basketball teams. To purchase this special ticket, go to sfgiants.com/special events. It'll be Barry Zito against Chris Carpenter, so hope to have you here.
And out McCovey Cove, a lot of action out there. Friday night, the beer can regatta from the South Beach Marina. And the finish line is the entrance to McCovey Cove. Fastball called a strike to Pinheiro. The pitcher bats 8th for the Cardinals. Not all the time, but a lot of the times. Brendan Ryan in the 9th spot on deck, and then leadoff man Schumacher. The count is 0-2.
Well, before this ballpark was built, where did they end the beer can regatta?
I think they ended it at the same spot. It just wasn't called McCovey Cove at that time. That's a good question, though. That ball is dribbled foul on the third base side, picked up by Uribe. Still 0-2 to Pinheiro. But there's a lot of action going on out there. These are serious racers.
So
and
every Friday night they do this in the summer?
Little mini America's Cup every Friday night. The beer can regatta. They used to use, in the old days, beer cans as the markers as to where the course was. Now they have actual buoys that mark the course as Pinheiro strikes out on a Kane fastball, 93 miles an hour. Strikeout number 2 for Kane.
93 miles per hour with perfect location. Outside corner. That's the biggest improvement for Matt Kane as he has really developed into a very good pitcher. His ability to control the corners with the fastball, 2 different types of grips, 2 different types of movement on those fastballs, and the confidence in his changeup to throw it any time.
Now Brendan Ryan hitting .242, no homers, 3 batted in, 62 at bats, a little bit high for ball 1. Laz Diaz is the home plate umpire with Eric Cooper, Mike Riley, and Chuck Merriweather on the bases from first to third. The 1-0 pitch in there, fastball for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Plate umpire Laz Diaz, strike zone can vary. I mean, we've seen it at nights, but it's very big. It definitely favors the pitcher. And other nights it's small. It's more of a hitter's type strike zone.
Back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
One thing about Laz Diaz, he is not afraid to ring a guy up. And I almost think he enjoys it. I mean, some umpires, they do.
You said that with a sort of with a tone of admiration. And he's not afraid to ring guys up either. Yeah.
So if you're pitching and you had a guy that looked for strikes and 2 strike counts, they were good guys to have.
You know, when in our earliest days in Little League, when it was 2 strikes, they would always tell you got to swing at anything close. You don't want to just be caught out on strikes on a close pitch that you thought maybe was a little bit off the corner. As that ball is popped in the air to shallow right field. There's Randy Wynn, and 2 down. I like to see a guy not rewarded when he takes one that's so close. He should be swinging at it. Tune in to the Bay Area's #1 rated 11 p.m. newscast right here on NBC Bay Area tonight at 11. Wake up with traffic and weather on NBC Bay Area weekday morning starting at 4:30 a.m. And Raj Mathai, sports director at NBC Bay Area, he's on the 11 o'clock news. He's right there with the 4:30 wake up. He's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on NBC Bay Area. He is, and as well as on our giant telecast here on NBC Bay Area. Talk about dedication. That curveball a little bit off the outside. A ball and a strike to Schumacher, the leadoff man, who lined out to center his first time. I remember last year it seemed like the Giants could not get this guy out. And he changed up. 1-2 the count.
Well, they're softballing him here. First 3 pitches have gone curveball, changeup, and he's got a 1-2 advantage here. Fastball is definitely set up.
And he goes with the high, hard one. But right. Schumacher fights it off.
Right above the hands, inside corner. Didn't get much of a swing from Schumacher. I mean, if you're a big league pitcher and you make a big league hitter have a swing that looks like this, you've made a great pitch.
1-2 the count. Curveball. Ooh. A little bit high, I guess, maybe a little bit off the outside.
I think it's just a little high, kind of wrapped around the backside of the plate. Tried to go backdoor with it, hung it out there just a little bit.
2-2. Changeup, just got a piece of it. Well, this is a very similar at bat to the one we saw from Schumacher in the first inning, making Kane throw a lot of pitches, fighting off tough 2-strike pitches. Schumacher, he kind of reminds me of a left-handed version of David Eckstein, who played with the Cardinals for a while. And it down off his foot on that one. The count still 2-2.
Well, if you've got that ability as a hitter, I mean, you really are invaluable. And the ability I'm talking about is to get pitches out of a pitcher. With the emphasis that is put on the pitch count, if you have a number of hitters in the lineup that can get pitches out of a starting pitcher, get into that bullpen early, that guy's worth his weight in gold.
2-2. And that is a fair ball. Pablo Sandoval. And the inning is over. 3 up and 3 down. Kane has thrown 41 in 3 innings. Top of the order coming up. Rowan.
In the World Series, and it is on display in the Hall of Fame.
I wore a microphone in that same World Series, 2005, although I wasn't the first. Strike one called to Rowan, who led off the 2-run first inning rally for the Giants with a double to left. In the dirt from Pinheiro, 1 ball, 1 strike. Edgar Renteria on deck, and then Randy Wynn due up third. Rowan's average up to 284 now. He's definitely on the ascent. Look at that. That sinker ran in under the hand, and he roped that one, but foul. 1-2.
Earlier in the year, had you have run a sinker down and into Aaron Rowan, he would have hooked it. He would have hit it into his foot. Now you run that thing in, he's staying inside the ball, and he has a good chance to rake that thing fair down the left field line. And it's just a little bit of an adjustment in his swing that has allowed him to lead with a knob and save that bat head for those inside sinkers.
Hit very slowly, and it bounces foul about halfway to third. 2005, Rowan was on the White Sox, and the White Sox won the World Series that year. And Rowan was a real leader on that ball club, playing a great center field and doing it all. And the White Sox were known as a club for playing the game the way Aaron Rowan played it. It was a much scrappier White Sox ball club. The manager, Ozzie Guillen, said those White Sox, a lot of people said they're playing little ball. He said, no, we're playing smart ball. And the changeup strikes him out.
Good changeup. Well, I think a lot of people in Chicago were upset when Aaron Rowan was traded over to the Phillies. I mean, he's the type of player that a lot of kids identified with. I mean, he's a hustler. He dives. He's got sort of a swashbuckling style of his game. And a huge fan base in Chicago. And when he got dealt to the Phillies, they were not happy.
That White Sox team had been a team built on power. They had Maglio Ordonez, Carlos Lee, Frank Thomas, Rowan, Paul Konerko. It was loaded with power, but they didn't win. And Renteria thrown out by Ryan. Renteria is 0 for 1. He had a sacrifice bunt his first time. 2 down for the Giants very quickly here in the third. The Giants lead 2-0. But they brought in a little more speed. They cut loose a couple of the big sluggers like Ordonez and Carlos Lee. And we're a ball club that could beat you a lot of different ways. With speed, with defense, stealing bases, hitting behind runners. And Rowan seemed to be the guy in the middle of all of the things that they did well. 2 down here is Randy Winn. And then when they got it rolling in the postseason, they made it look almost ridiculously easy. They got rolling. The pitchers were pitching complete games every night. They were doing whatever it took to win a ball game.
Oh, their pitching was incredible.
That's a strike on the inside to Winn, who walked his first time and scored a run.
But you could see it. When you get 25 guys believing in the same thing, it's almost like they look like a choreographed musical group. They just do everything together. The vibe is together. It's the chemistry you hear so much about. And when it happens, it's magic. And if you're lucky enough to be in a team when it happens, wow, just sit back and enjoy the ride.
2-2 now to Win.
When you're going just full bore into the month of September and into October, and you're playing well as a group and you're charging, you do not get tired. If you lose and your bubble gets popped, it's devastating.
That sinker hit to Ryan, the shortstop, and the Giants go down in order. On to the 4th inning, Duncan, then Albert Pujols coming up against Kane.
Newcomb wants Mr. Obama to throw out the ceremonial first pitch here at AT&T Park. He plans on asking the president to do it later this season. And, John, you've dealt with presidents here coming at the ballpark at various spots in the country. What happens to the Secret Service men? Do they sit in the clubhouse or up in the box, or where are they during the game?
Well, I know the answer to that question. I'm just not allowed to say. Sorry, Raj.
It's a secret.
I know that. I know all about that. I know all their plans, but I'm not at liberty to divulge. Change up, swinging, strike one to Chris Duncan. It is whenever the president comes to the ballpark, it is a difficult night to navigate your way around the ballpark. That's for sure. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Chris Duncan. Albert Pujols on deck. Matt Cain and the Giants on top here, 2-0. And that is a ball up and in. I remember when Ronald Reagan was president, he came and threw out the first pitch in Baltimore. And they wouldn't announce that he was coming. He would just arrive and come in through the clubhouse into the dugout. And then he sat in the dugout and watched the first 3-4 innings of the game from there and then left. And strike 2 called to Duncan. But he was down there with the owner of the Orioles and 2 or 3 other people, and he wanted a hot dog. He says, I've been thinking about this all week. I want a ballpark hot dog. They got some poor schmuck hot dog vendor down there. The dogs in those days were $2 a piece, as Duncan has a single to center. And they got 4 of these $2 hot dogs, and the president said, I brought cash. I wanted the hot dog. I intend to pay for it. And they said, Mr. President, ridiculous. We'll give you a hot dog. You come to our ballpark. No, I'm paying for the hot dog. And he hands the hot dog vendor a $5, and he says, keep the change, my man, for the $8 worth of hot dogs. So I think they took care of the vendor later, but
keep the change, my man.
He had apparently not had a hot dog in the ballpark for a while. Here's Albert Pujols, and that is a ball down and away.
And here's where you get tested. Every time you have to pitch to Albert Pujols out of the stretch, it's just a lot going on. The one thing you don't really have to worry about, Chris Duncan is not a base stealer. He will go, but on rare occasions.
And off the glove of Renteria. Duncan will stop at second as Rowan retrieves it. That ball hit hard and just maybe a few inches to the left of where it ended up. Maybe a double play ball. Now the Comcast Sportsnet Central Major League News and Notes. Clint Hurdle, no longer the manager of the Colorado Rockies. Couple of years after he took them to the World Series, fired. As Rockies manager Jim Tracy, former Dodger manager, replaces him. Cubs beat LA today at Wrigley Field 2-1. And Luke Scott led the Baltimore Orioles to a victory this evening with a couple of home runs as Baltimore beat the Detroit Tigers. And Dontrell Willis, Bay Area native. Strike 1 to Ludwig, and the Cardinals have their first real threat here against Matt Cain. Go deep with Bay Area sports news every night on Sportsnet Central, only on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. 0-2 the count now.
Well, they set the target on the outside part of the plate, and the ball comes right on the inside corner. Ludwig had a pretty good rip at it, but you wind out smelling like a rose because you get an 0-2 count in the end. The down and into Ludwig is not an area we'd really like to make consistent time and time again pounding.
0-2 to Ludwig. 2 men on, nobody out. Fastball high and tight. That got his attention.
A little sniffer. Just introduce yourself. Hey, I'm Matt Cain. How you like me now?
I'm known to throw pretty hard on occasion. 1-2 the count.
Ludwig out of UNLV.
And he struck him out. Back inside again.
That's where you utilize the inside corner with Ludwig. You see that big high fastball, especially since he hasn't had a lot of at bats. He's coming off the DL. Good chance he'll chase you out of the strike zone, and that's a good pitch. That's all by design. Good scout report there, and they took advantage of it.
And this is Ludwig's first game, period. He did not have a rehab assignment. He did not go down to the minor leagues and play even so much as one game down there. One out here is Colby Rasmus, the rookie, and the curve hangs high for ball 1.
He's trying to throw that first curveball for a strike and steal a strike, basically, because guys aren't going to look for a first pitch curve, but he's casting it off. He's not finishing that pitch.
Rasmus struck out his first time. Duncan at second, Pujols at first, 1 out. Giants lead 2-0. Too high again with that curveball. Tried to do the same thing twice and missed with it. So Kane a little frustrated. He's put himself in a hole against the 22-year-old rookie, Colby Rasmus. That ball is a soaring drive, and Randy Wynn is camped under it. Duncan tags at second, Pujols from first, but neither one advances. 2 down. Yadier Molina is coming up now. The Atlanta Braves, who were here earlier in the week and were swept by the Giants, scored early and often tonight in Arizona. They got 4 runs in the second, 5 in the third against Diamondback starter John Garland, and they lead that game now 10-4 at the end of 4 innings. Yunel Escobar, who was hurt when the Braves played here, hit a home run for Atlanta. That curveball, now he misses too low with that first pitch curve.
Pretty good pitch right there. It really is a pitch you say to yourself, if I'm going to miss, I want to miss below the strike zone and not up. Especially in a situation where a guy can really hurt you with a mistake up. Like now.
Yadier has been tough in the clutch, just like his older brother Benji. And now he crossed up Benji in that one.
Well, it's a 1-0 curveball, and Benji, I think, looking for a fastball.
So again, Kane is behind 2-0. He went to 2-0 on Rasmus, got him to hit the soaring fly ball. 2 down in the inning. Ooh, that fastball out over the plate and fouled straight back by Yadier.
That's a scary pitch. I mean, you give it to a guy 2-0 to a location like this, especially a guy. I mean, last year rather, Molina hit 304. Guys that hit 304 in the big leagues, these are gifts. They don't see many of these. Just here, hit me fastballs in 2-0 counts with runners in scoring position. Kane got away with one there.
And that is the curveball for a strike. 2-2. They've been trying to throw that for the last 3 hitters.
Well, I think if a curveball is a big part of your game, you got to keep throwing it. You got to keep finding that release. You got to get it into part of the strike zone that can help you. Sort of like a jump shot that a good shooter in basketball gets cold. They tell him to keep shooting. Well, the same thing with throwing that curveball. You got to keep throwing it to get the feel of it.
A fastball driven foul down the right field line. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. By the way, the inning started with a single by Duncan, then a single by Pujols, putting 2 men on with nobody out. But this year, this is where Matt Cain becomes almost untouchable. You put men on base, and Matt Cain is about as strong as there's been in the National League this year in these kind of difficult situations. They get men on base, and then it's very difficult to get them home against Cain. And that's a wild pitch. So now Duncan over to third, Pujols over to second.
Now they wanted a fastball inside corner. They set up on the inside part of the plate. And Benji Molina kind of camped out trying to think, I need to frame this thing in a 2-strike. You're really sitting low. And this thing just goes across the plate in a 1 hop, not even close to the target. Not much that Benji Molina could do. That is a world-class wild pitch.
First base is open. A left-handed hitter, Joe Thurston, is on deck. And a big 3-ball, 2-strike count, 2 men in scoring position. Yadier Molina at the plate. And a curve popped foul and into the stands off to the right. Cain's had several pitches in this inning that have been well away from the target being given by Benji Molina. Three and 2 the count to Yadier Molina, hitting .333 for the season with runners in scoring position. And he walks him. And the bases are loaded. This has been a high-stress inning for Kane. He's thrown 23 pitches in the inning.
I don't think that's a bad walk at all. If you look at Molina's back leg and that at bat, I mean, he didn't really get off. The whole time he's in there taking his at bat, he had good balance in the back leg, meaning he's seeing the ball. He had good timing to the pitch. He's just looking for a mistake. A walk there with an open base, that's not a bad thing at all.
So now Joe Thurston. High hop for Burris. And just like that, the inning is over. 3 left on. Benji Molina, then Sandoval coming up.
It's good game management right there. Be featured in an afternoon with the 89 Giants on Friday, June 12th. And from 2 to 4, you can mingle with Will Clark, Candy Maldonado, Kevin Mitchell, Roger Craig, and a few more. These players will participate in a panel discussion and a question and answer about the season, culminating with the Battle of the Bay. Proceeds benefit the Giants Community Fund. For more information, visit juniorgiants.org or call 1-877-JUNIOR-GIANT.
Giants lead 2-0. Pinheiro to Sandoval. Or rather, Benji Molina with Sandoval out on deck. And Benji takes a called strike. Benji was hit by a pitch just above and right around the left knee his first time. Sandoval, who came up next and hit a 2-run single. And those have been the only runs of the game so far. Giants 2-0.
Sometimes getting drilled by a pitch can get you out of a slump, too. This was his first at bat when he got hit right on the left side of his left knee. Very painful area to get hit in. It's kind of like the funny bone of your leg, and you get hit there, it's not funny. But if you're all concentrating about your mechanics and you're not thinking right, you got a 2 for 42 going. Now all of a sudden the guy drills you, then it becomes competitive again.
And he swung at that one. Benji chased one that was not anywhere close to home plate. Tried to check, couldn't do it. One away. And literally is now 3 for his last 41. And here comes Sandoval. Sandoval hit a 2-run single right through the hole on the right side of the infield to give the Giants the lead back in the first. Pablo back in for the first time since last Saturday. Shows bunt with the infield backed up.
But hey, if you're playing third base, you've got to come in. You see Joe Thurston, the third baseman, he came in about 4 steps.
Into right field, base hit. Ludwig gets it back in, and Sandoval is 2 for 2.
Well, he gets him out reaching on that changeup, but Sandoval has an uncanny knack to be able to keep that bat flat and in the swing plane for a long time. And even if his lower body goes, he can still keep his hands back and beat you. Pinheiro did everything right there with that pitch and still got beat. That frustrates a pitcher.
Fred Lewis. That one is hit very well. That ball is up against the wall near the 404 side. Sandoval speeding around third, heading home. He'll score. It's a stand-up triple for Fred Lewis.
Boy, if you watch Colby Rasmus, the center fielder for the Cardinals, I'm not sure if he saw the ball because he did not have a real good step to the ball. And then fastball away, backspins this thing towards the opposite field gap, and you knew it was going to have some carry. This is part of the yard where the wind will help it. But the read from Sandoval, first base, magnificent. He saw that ball was not going to get caught early, and that enabled him to score.
Second triple of the year for Fred Lewis, and he really launched that one. The infield comes in for the Cardinals, and a swinging strike by Juan Uribe, grounded to short his first time. That ball, and when you're broadcasting a game, you kind of discipline yourself. When there's a ball in the air, you let the outfielder, especially a fly ball that's hit well like that, you let the outfielder tell you how well it's hit. And I would immediately look at the center fielder Rasmus and thought, well, I guess he didn't hit this ball as well as I thought.
I bought into it too. I mean, he was just kind of back stroking, nothing, not a real sprint to the ball. And then I'm thinking, well, maybe he saw that this ball was going to be like halfway up the bleachers, but Rasmus, the center fielder right here, kind of jogging after it, and it hits at the base of the wall.
You know, I agree with you. I don't think he saw it. That is right to third. Lewis had to hold. Nice pickup by Thurston, and he throws out Uribe.
That was a nice play. Man, nothing easy about that ground ball. That ball comes off the grass and it hits the dirt for the first time. It's got topspin on it like that last ground ball had. That is a ground ball that can definitely be unpredictable. And throwing the fact that it went right to Thurston's backhand, that made it even more difficult, and he fielded it nicely. Good play.
So now 2 down, as Uribe was not able to get Lewis home, and here is Burris to try and get him home. Burris popped up to short his first time. And that one bounces away from Molina, but not far enough for Lewis to take a gamble.
Because the backstop is so close to home here at AT&T Park, it's not a given. You could throw a ball completely over the head of a catcher and have the ball come right back to the catcher, and if you're breaking from third, you're out by 20 feet. This is not an easy backdrop to judge if you're a runner at third base. Very difficult.
That is through, base hit. Lewis scores 4-0 Giants.
Well, that swing of the bat right there really stings Tony La Russa, because he's really rolling the dice here, down 3-0 with a pitcher on deck. And the fact they gave anything in the strike zone at all to Emmanuel Burris, I mean, I guess you're not convinced that Burris can hurt you. That's why you would pitch to him here. But Burris, who's been swinging the bat a whole lot better this last 5 days, shows that he's got some 2-out ability. Nice at bat.
11th RBI of the year for Burris, and here is Kane. The bunt, but foul.
Good idea. That Kane is athletic. He gets that bunt down, he could beat it out.
But if you're the pitcher pitching to Burris with 2 down in that spot with a pitcher up next, you're trying to get him out, or you're trying to pitch around him? What's the strategy there?
You're throwing corner pitches, you're letting the movement take it out of the strike zone, and you hope that he swings at your location. And your location is not in the strike zone when it gets to the plate to him. You take a couple shots that you're trying to entice him to swing at your out of the strike zone location. If he doesn't, then you just put him on.
1 strike to count to Kane. Ooh, way inside for a ball. So a real mistake there to make that pitch to Burris in that situation.
Big time mistake. The fact that he threw that pitch right in the heart of the strike zone, that was the mistake. Location. Not the pitch, not the pitch selection, the location. That's what burned him. No steal situation here for Burris.
Now with the pitcher batting and 2 down. Strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. So should La Russa just have ordered Burris walked intentionally?
Well, he also knows Pinheiro has got great command. I mean, you mentioned before the broadcast that the last 4 starts, he hadn't walked anybody in 28 innings.
Matt Cain, base hit to right field. The throw gets loose on the infield, picked up by Thurston.
And I think Pinheiro's track record is why Tony La Russa opted to let him pitch to Burris, assuming that he knew what he was doing and where he wanted to throw the ball. But that pitch to Burris, I mean, that haunts him in a lot of ways. Obviously, the 4th run scores. Burris gets on base, but now with the swing of the bat from Cain, this is an inning that could possibly get him out of the ball game as the lineup flips over.
Here is a red-hot hitter, Aaron Rowan, who has been, ironically, as the leadoff man, he has been outstanding driving in runs.
Hitting balls out of the ballpark.
Oh, he had the big swing on that one, but got under it. A pop-up into shallow center. And Rasmus with the shortstop, Brendan Ryan, bearing down on him, makes the catch.
Inside the Giants dugout, the Giants with a 4-0 lead. The Giants and Cardinals have made a couple of notable trades as we flash back through the years. In 1966, they traded Orlando Cepeda to St. Louis in return for Ray Sadecki. And then in 1985, another big trade. The Giants sent Jack Clark to St. Louis for Dave LaPointe and Jose Uribe. So in hindsight, it looks like the Cardinals might have gotten the better end of both those trades. So maybe, guys, that's why we don't see the Giants and Cardinals doing too many of those trades in the near future or in the near past. Back up to you.
And for those of us who were Giants fans in the 60s, that Cepeda trade for Sadecki, that still kind of resonates in a bad way.
Kind of wears on you still.
Here is Pinheiro hitting in the 8th spot. Strike 1 swinging against Matt Cain. The Giants ahead 4-0 as we play. Or I beg your pardon, that is not Pinheiro. This is Rick Ankiel pinch hitting for Pinheiro. So Pinheiro is gone. Made a big mistake pitching to Burris, who got the base hit with the pitcher coming up next. And Pinheiro is history for this game. So Ankiel, powerful left-handed hitter. Got 2 homers, 11 batted in. He's only had 85 at bats after getting injured on that terrible collision with the outfield wall. Pinheiro is gone. And Ankiel pops one up. Uribe right near third. And there is one away. So Joel Pinheiro, 4 innings, 4 runs, 6 hits allowed. A walk, his only walk in his last 5 starts. Plus he hit a batter. And threw 71 pitches in those 4 innings. So,
well, I think the pitch that got him out of this ball game was that swinging the bat by Emmanuel Burris. The mistake, the location he made, and gave Burris a real good pitch to hit. If you do that, you make your manager look bad. You make your manager look bad, you're going to get yanked out of a game.
And the Yankee has already occurred. Brendan Ryan, that's a strike.
This is the pitch that Burris hit, and look at the location. I mean, that is T-ball location. That is right out of the heart of the plate, zipper high, and guys are going to put a good swing on that. That one found a hole and really cost him.
Backhanded by Renteria. Just in time to get Ryan, who was hustling up the line. 2 down.
Well, a reminder, this Sunday is a 1:05 start time, and it is Catholic Healthcare West Cap Day. That's right, Giants cap for the first 20,000 fans. As you get to the yard, a Giants cap courtesy of Catholic Healthcare West CHW. For tickets, visit sfgiants.com or go to and call 1-877-4SFG-TICKS. That's going to be an Adam Wainwright, Jonathan Sanchez matchup. I'm not sure that the hats are going to be that cool, but they'll be cool.
Strike 1 to leadoff man Schumacher. See, they could use Giant caps. Hopefully they're coming out on Sunday. Curveball in there. Strike 2.
He's zeroed into that curveball now. It took him about 3 innings to get a feel for it, but now he's zeroed.
Cardinal bullpen, right-hander Blaine Boyer is warming up. He'll be coming in the last of the 5th. Giants ahead 4-0. And the fastball up and away.
That's not a good pitch. That's a pitch that really doesn't set up anything. If you're going to go on the outside part of the plate or off the plate 8 inches, make it knee high. I mean, some guys will swing at it, but it also will set up pitches in the eye of the hitter.
Left that one out over the plate, but it's fouled.
But the pitch that's shoulder high up and away, as you see Boyer starting to get greased up, he should be ready to go. The pitch that goes up shoulder high that's off the plate away, I mean, it's an easy take. It doesn't really establish anything in the eye of the hitter.
And it goes to 2-2. And here Schumacher has been forcing Kane to throw a lot of pitches in every one of his at-bats. He's going to a deep count. 6, 7, 8 pitch at-bats. 2-2. Change up. Sprayed foul. 2 balls, 2. It seems like on a 2-strike count, it's almost impossible to get one by this guy. Now, I know he must strike out on occasion. Schumacher struck out 17 times. He had 157 official at bats. But it seems like he must never strike out, as tough as he is with 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. 2 down, nobody on. Change up. Burris. And that's a 3-up and 3-down inning. And Kane's allowed 3 hits, no runs in 5. Renteria win. Molina coming up against Boyer. Sure. Sports. New pitcher Blaine Boyer, who originally had come up with the Atlanta Braves. Big right-hander on here for the Cardinals in the 5th inning. Giants ahead 4-0.
16th time he's taken the ball. 9 strikeouts in 10 innings. 16 base runners allowed in 10 innings. And look at the ERA inflated. This guy's a real good sinker, and he can put some good velocity on it. He'll go 92, 95 with the sink. He's got an excellent curveball. That's a strikeout pitch. And he's right. He'll throw ground balls.
Renteria. And there is Ludwig. 1 away. Edgar is now 0 for 2. A 1 pitch out this time. And Randy Wynn will be next. Some folks got their Giant caps on Orange Friday. Is it Orange Friday?
It is. Every Friday is Orange Friday.
Randy Wynn has walked and scored a run and grounded out to short. And a fastball at 95 miles an hour, a little bit low. 1 ball, no strikes. Giants 9.5 back of the Dodgers at the start of the day. The Padres in second place, 9 games out. And the Padres playing in Colorado under their new manager. The Rockies now managed by Jim Tracy, who had been the bench coach this year under Clint Hurdle, who got fired today. And the Rockies are leading 3-0 over the Padres in the 9th inning. Houston Street trying to close that one for Colorado. That's a foul off to the left. A ball and 2 strikes to Randy Wynn. The Dodgers, meanwhile, lost this afternoon at Wrigley Field 2-1. And Chad Billingsley lost that one to Ted Lilly. Billingsley gave up 2 in the last of the 7th. Coy Hill hit a home run for one of those runs. Dodgers seemed like they'd been winning every day otherwise, but they lost 2-1 to the Cubs today. There is Pujols. And Blaine Boyer covering. Out number 2. Wynn retired.
Nice play, Albert Pujols. I think the most difficult part about that play was the throw. Wynn hits this ball well, a 2-hopper to his backhand, and here's the difficulty of the play. A nice soft toss. It's above the belt, and it's leading Boyer perfectly to get the out.
Albert, who has become a Gold Glover at first base, in addition to everything else that he does so well. Benji Molina, the cleanup hit, has been hit by a pitch and is struck out. And a foul out of play into the upper deck off to the right. Giants ahead 4-0 here in the last of the 5th inning. The Cardinals began the day 1 game ahead of Milwaukee in the Central Division of the National League. Brewers won their game tonight at Miller Park 3-2 over Cincinnati. And Benji's got a base hit into the left center field area. Duncan up with it. Only the 4th hit for Benji in his last 42 at bats.
Yeah, 2-out knock, and it allows Pablo Sandoval to face Boyer out of the stretch and the runner on. And the way that Pablo Sandoval swinging the bat tonight, that's a good thing.
Pablo hit a 2-run single in the first 2 Giants runs. And then he started a 2-run rally in the 4th with a single. So he's 2 for 2, hitting .313 for the season. Pujols plays behind Molina at first. Sandoval rakes a high off-speed pitch and fouled on the right field line.
I was a little worried when that thing was heading into the crowd, but some guy with a glove on made a great play down there. There he is. Nice going. Look at, no girl was sitting by him until he caught that ball, and instantaneously 3 babes rolled right in there.
1-1 the count. That could change his life.
I mean, that is a bullet. All right.
So he went from being some guy to the guy who caught the foul ball.
The guy.
1-1 the count. Rasmus in medium deep center, and the inning is over. First time that Sandoval's been retired. Albert Pujols coming up second in the sixth. To 3 and 5-2 in Arlington, Texas. The Orioles over the Tigers 7-2, beating Dontrell Willis. Yankees over Cleveland 3-1 at the Jake. The Blue Jays ended a 9-game losing streak, beating the Red Sox up in Canada. And the Rays over the Twins 5-3 in St. Pete. The White Sox 11-2 over the Royals, and the Mariners are leading the Angels 4-1, top 7 in Anaheim right now. Here the Giants lead 4-0, top of the 6th inning, as Matt Cain gets a strike to Chris Duncan on a foul ball. Duncan has popped up to the catcher and has singled. He's 1 for 2. He has one of the Cardinals' 3 hits that have been allowed by Cain. Cain has thrown 80 pitches now. Albert Pujols on deck, then Ludwig. The power is up for the Cardinals. Cain changed up on him that time. The count is 0-2.
You have to mix speeds with guys who are strong. You cannot let that back leg get time to you, and that's your best defense for a pitcher. Mixed speeds, mixed location.
0-2 the count. High fastball misses. By the way, as we looked at those American League scores, that with that win, the Yankees moved ahead of the Boston Red Sox and into first place by a half game in the American League East, which is remarkable considering how badly everything had gone for the Yankees earlier. That ball is called strike 3. It's the low slider, and he got the low strike call there.
Strikeout number 4. And that is a low slider. And you saw that Benji Molina's kind of went out there and speared it, kind of took it out of the strike zone, which kind of fooled us. And that's a Las Diaz strikeout, and the Cardinal bench not happy with that call.
Albert Pujols. And this is a spot where Cain can go after Albert. He's got a 4-run lead. I mean, he does not want to walk him in a spot like this with a 4-run advantage. Another power hitter up next. So I say all that, and he's behind him 2-0.
Well, you always pitch a guy like this with respect, unless you have like a 9-0 lead.
Pujols is flied to deep center and singled. Rakes one into left field, a base hit.
I talked about how perfect his setup is. You know, he collapses that back leg, and all of his weight is on the inside part of his foot. He's loaded with a slightly bent knee, and he's got his back shoulder is high. And as he loads, watch that front foot drop, and we'll look where the hands are. They're up, and it's just a quick throw, just a little circular load as that front foot drops. and then he just throws to the ball. It's so quick, so flat, so strong. And for a guy with his strength to be that compact, that's why he's so scary.
Now Ludwig 0 for 2, his first game back from the disabled list. Fastball away, ball 1. Nobody stays right through the strike zone with his level of swing as long as Albert Pujols does, do they?
It's a beautiful swing. There just aren't many guys. I mean, Manny Ramirez quite possibly is another guy who can combine average with power with his swing. Very compact.
Change up a strike.
But I just look at his mechanics and they're just beautiful. If you're to teach hitting, you would use him as your prototype. Everything he does has been planned. It's been worked to get to a point of perfection, and he's just so consistent with it.
Those numbers we were just looking at, by the way, I just want to make sure you understand. Those are his career numbers. Those numbers would be fabulous for a season, a great season, a .334 average. That's his career batting average. This is his 9th season. He's averaging about 40 home runs a year since he broke into the big leagues. No swing.
Well, it's pretty exciting to be able to forecast where he's going to go with his career. He's 29 years old. Takes great care of himself. And, just like Bonds was, he's driven. He wants to put numbers up. He wants to leave his mark on the game. Wants to win championships.
2-2 the count to Ludwig. And the slider a little bit low. Full count now, 3-2 with Colby Rasmus, a left-handed hitter on deck. Ludwig is flied out to shallow center and struck out in this game. And he walks him, which is not what you want to see happen with a 4-0 lead. You don't want to give away anything. So now they've got 2 men on, and the rookie Rasmus coming up. 92 pitches for the night for Matt Cain. That was his second walk allowed. And this is the second time in the last 3 innings that the Cardinals have put multiple runners on base in the same inning. They had 2 men on and nobody out to start the 4th inning. Cain got through it. That is just foul. Just out of the reach of Sandoval, and then just foul when it finally landed.
Well, a first pitch changeup, and Rasmus not fooled at all. Like the way he swung at that, looked like he may have been looking for it. And that's foul by about a foot.
This is the 3rd time through the batting order for Matt Cain, so they've all seen him a couple of times now. Rasmus has struck out and flied out to right center. 0 for 2. Pujols at second, Ludwig at first. A little bloop. That's in there. Base hit, and Pujols never hesitated. He scores easily, and it is 4-1 Giants.
Well, a bad break for the Cardinals. The last pitch that got raked foul. Here, a bad break for the Giants. Just sort of a little slice pop-up. And you saw that Renteria not in anywhere position-wise to make a play. It had to be Fred Lewis or nobody, and he was just playing too deep to have any chance whatsoever. So the Cardinals making some noise. You give them enough opportunities and they can hurt you very quickly. Dave Righetti coming out to try and calm things down.
And Albert just seemed to intuitively know right away, oh, nobody's going to catch that one, and he just took off. Scored easily. So Righetti, after a few words with Cain, back to the dugout. 3 straight Cardinals have reached base here. And they had their first run home, and here is the very dangerous Yadier Molina with a chance to do some damage.
Well, he is dangerous, and he's not quite as wild a swinger as his brother Benji, but he's definitely a guy that can go out of the strike zone to beat you. I mean, he can extend a great plate coverage middle away, and he's got power the opposite side of the field as well.
He has singled and walked in this game. Cain has not retired him. And a foul off the right field line. It's 0-1. The Cardinal bullpen has gotten busy. After Molina, it's Joe Thurston, and after Thurston, it's the pitcher spot. There is Trevor Miller getting ready, the left-hander, on his birthday. 4-1 Giants. The Cardinals with their first run home, and they've got a threat to do more damage here. And a foul. It's 0-2.
Yadier Molina leads the Cardinals in hitting into double plays. He's hitting to 6. And as the pitch count nears the century mark, Justin Miller's going to head down to the Giants bullpen and start getting greased up.
There's only one out in the inning. Kane struck out Duncan leading off the inning, but Pujols singled. Ludwig walked. Rasmus with a single to knock in a run. Now this could be 2. Let's see. Wasn't hit very hard. There's one. Back to first and into the dugout. That gives away a run. So Ludwig scores, and it is 4-2.
Now Colby Rasmus can run, and you got to give this run to Rasmus. I mean, you're thinking this is going to be an inning double play, but look at the heat that Rasmus puts on Emmanuel Burris, and that ball was so wide of Sandoval, he never had a chance to try and flag this thing down. Rasmus right on him, going right through him. And that's just good, hard, clean baseball right there. Good play.
So Yadier Molina now at second base. And Rasmus out at second. But putting the heat on, as Mike mentioned. If they'd only gotten the one out, even if Burris had not even thrown the ball to first base, Ludwig would have been only at third base. So,
and that play by Rasmus can really fire up a dugout. You talk about an energizer. That play was it.
Strike 2 to Thurston on the foul ball.
You know, and it was clean baseball. It's what you're supposed to do. That's the kind of heat that a guy with speed can put on a play. And what we have seen from Emmanuel Burris is that he has been very brave around the bag. He'll hang in there and take a hit. And Rasmus just an exceptional job of upsetting the timing and the footwork of Burris, causing the errant throw. It's a big play.
4-2 Giants. 2 runs in for the Cardinals. And Thurston chases upstairs, fouling one back into the crowd. Pitch number 100 for Matt Cain. Fans are booing. There's a Cardinal fan wearing an Albert Pujols jersey in the second deck. Caught a foul ball earlier in the night. Thurston down on strikes on the high hard one. But the Cardinals get 2, 1 unearned. Fred Lewis coming up. Last of the 6, 4-2 Giants. today at Wrigley Field. 2-1 Ted Lilly over Chad Billingsley. Kevin Gregg got the save in that ball game. The Phillies over the Nationals 5-4 in our nation's capital. And the Astros snap a long losing streak with a victory over the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Mets in extra innings over the Florida Marlins at New City Field in New York. The Brewers over the Reds 3-2 at Miller Park. And the Rockies under their new manager Jim Tracy beat the Padres 3-0 at Coors Field. A win for Jason Marquis, his 7th win of the year. Chris Young, the loser. Houston Street got the save. And the Braves lead Arizona 10-5, top of the 7th in the desert. Blaine Boyer back for his 2nd inning. And a sinking fastball runs off the outside for ball 1 to Fred Lewis. Lewis has hit into an inning-ending double play and has also launched a triple out toward the 404 side in deep left center, knocking in a run. And a foul off to the left.
Well, here's that triple you're talking about. We're going to make it our Cache Creek hit of the game. It went opposite field, finds a gap. I think it totally fooled Colby Rasmus, the center fielder for the St. Louis Cardinals. It would score Sandoval. So I think that's worthy of being our Cache Creek hit of the game.
Left-handed hitter go out there. He really crushed that ball. Curveball. Albert Pujols. And one away. Lewis is 1 for 3, and Juan Uribe will come up. Uribe has grounded a short and grounded a third. The third baseman, Thurston, made a very nice play on his ground ball in the 4th inning on a tough hop. Giants 4, Cardinals 2 now. Cardinals, a lot of time left in this game. We're in the last of the 6th. Giants bullpen staying quiet as the sinker in there for a strike. Matt Cain at 101 pitches through 6 innings. 2 runs, 1 earned run. That second run on the error by Burris. And Ryan, with that sidearm sling over the first, retires Uribe, who is now 0 for 3, 2 down. And Burris will come up. Burris, who got a big 2-out RBI hit in the 4th inning. With the pitcher on deck and a runner at third, Burris picked up that runner with a base hit to right. It looks even bigger now that the Cardinals have scored a couple.
Indeed it does. I'll tell you right now, it's still burning a hole in Tony La Russa's brain.
1 ball and no strikes to Burris. That was a spot where he could have just had Burris walked intentionally with the pitcher coming up next. It was only the 4th inning. But Pinheiro ended up making a mistake in the strike zone, and Burris made him pay for it.
That's why I think it's so difficult to hit in the 8th spot. I mean, for the most part, you're not going to see those mistakes to location. If a ball, you're going to see something that starts off the side and falls out of the strike zone. You really have to learn how to expand your zone, because that manager wants you to hit those pitches. He wants you to swing. I think it's one of the more difficult spots in the lineups to hit. It definitely requires a certain type of hitter. But this, a mistake from Pinheiro right out over the middle of the strike zone. You just can't make a mistake like that. And I bet if you go back in the last 4 games, you watch Pinheiro, who put up 28 innings without a walk. Those type of mistakes were not made, and he paid for it.
Right down the middle. Fastball there for a strike. 2-2 now to Burris. Well, Bruce Bochy, spring training and even earlier this year, the pitcher was up next with 2 down, and Burris would take a fat pitch. He'd come back to dugout, and Bochy says, so your strategy was, let's get the pitcher up there and let him drive in the runs with 2 down? Is that what you were thinking when you were up there? But he wanted to engage Emmanuel Burris and the whole strategy, and to think about the situation as an 8th place hitter, what needs to be done, what he needs to do. Not just looking for a pitch to hit, or maybe just to get a walk. And the riding fastball, strike 3 swinging. On to the 7th inning now. 4-2 Giants.
guys in that is your Carl's Jr. game breakdown.
7th inning. Matt Cain back to work here, although the Giants bullpen is going to be ready when needed. And Nick Stavinoa is the pinch hitter for Blaine Boyer, who pitched 2 shutout innings. Stavinoa, 36 at bats for the year, hitting .250, 1 homer, 8 batted in. Check swing, a comebacker. Now he planned that.
Oh my Lord!
You think that was just an accident? He planned that.
He would rather strike out swinging 4 times than do that. A pinch hit situation. You've been sitting there all game, and you get your call from your skipper. You go up there and check swing and comebacker. This is the worst possible at bat that could possibly happen. And if you're a pitcher on the mound, you're going, That's pitcher humor right there.
Well, a pitcher's supposed to get those every once in a while, isn't he?
Yeah.
Here is Brendan Ryan, the 9th place hitter. I love the look on Stavinoa's face. He not only checked his swing, he's like leaning back away from it, and then he sees the ball goes back. He's like, oh my God.
And now you have to run.
Back through Cain. Base hit to center. And you've got 2 lefties coming up at the top of the order, Schumacher and Duncan. And the Giants have Affeldt, the left-hander, up in the bullpen. Tune into the Bay Area's #1 rated 11 p.m. newscast right here on NBC Bay Area tonight at 11. And wake up with traffic and weather on NBC Bay Area weekday morning starting at 4:30. Looks like the Giants going to make a move right now. You see Metters, number 52, a right-hander, going down to the pen, but the left-hander, Affeldt's all ready to go. And Bruce Bochy is going to make a double switch here. Andres Torres is going to go into the outfield, and Cain will be giving up the ball to Bochy here in a moment. We'll be back.
To take advantage of a season-long special ticket offer. A great way to see a Giants game, and also a great way to support a worthy cause.
Double switch for the Giants. Andres Torres has gone in to play left field, replacing Fred Lewis. He'll hit in the 9th spot and lead off in the Giants half of this 7th inning. And also Jeremy Affeldt into the game, replacing Matt Cain. He'll hit in the 6th spot, or at least he'll be listed there. It's unlikely that he'll actually get up to hit. Schumacher, left-handed hitter at the plate with a runner at first. And 1 out. 4-2 the Giants lead. In for a called strike. Schumacher is lined out to center, grounded out to first, grounded out to second. He made Cain throw a lot of pitches just to him tonight, probably somewhere around 20 pitches or more in his 3 trips to the plate, but Cain always ended up getting him out.
Schumacher has hit well against lefties, hit 296.
Schumacher from Southern California originally. He's only listed at 5'10", but you wouldn't, if you were standing next to him, you wouldn't figure he really was 5'10". Last year against the Giants, he hit 370 and a 385 lifetime average against the Giants. So he's just always given the Giants trouble in his brief big league experience. 2-1. Another lefty, Chris Duncan, is on deck. Both bullpens are busy. Albert Pujols is in the hole. He'd be up after Duncan if the inning keeps going. And the right-hander is up in the Giants' pen. That is strike 2 call.
Affeldt with good movement on that fastball. And he's got enough movement on that fastball if he changes grips to where he can get that ground ball. Schumacher 0 for 4 lifetime with a couple of punch outs and a couple of ground outs. So Affeldt knows him. He knows his swing.
Two and two the count. The middle infielders, Renteria at short, Barnes at second, both pulled in a bit, double play depth. Curveball. Burris, Renteria 1, back to first, not in time.
Wow. Boy, Emmanuel Burris was looking right over the shoulder of first baseman Eric Cooper, and the reaction of Burris led me to believe that he thought that the Giants had completed that pair. Schumacher runs well, and here's the exchange. That's close.
So now Schumacher aboard, and here is Duncan. Beautifully started by Barris, having to go to his left and then spin and make that throw back to his right. And the curve misses. Ball 1 to Duncan, who is 1 for 3 in the game. He singled leading off the 4th. That's his 1 hit. 4-2. The Giants ahead here in the 7th. Big hitters up here. And Affeldt does not want anybody else to come to the plate in this inning, because the great Albert Pujols is the man on deck. Cardinals' great slugger. And Schumacher back to the bag at first. Schumacher's the leadoff man, but he's not a base stealer. Has only 1 steal for the year.
I would doubt that they would steal here, just because they want to keep that right side of the infield open for Duncan, the left-hander.
There's a strong breeze that's blowing out toward McCovey Cove now. Too high, and it's 2-0. Bruce Bochy has the right-hander. Metters up in the bullpen.
There you see the stiff breeze blowing out towards the cove.
Got the call on that one, and Duncan didn't think so.
You just don't see. We haven't seen that many strikes called up there all night long, and this is a big pitch for Affeldt. 2-0 count above the belt. As Diaz says, "Yeah, baby," for the first time tonight. Yeah, you can see why Duncan would be a bit frustrated.
Three and 1,
and that's the one that Affeldt wants, and now he's frustrated. This one knee high on the black. He thinks he paints him right here. 2-1 to even the count. And there you see the disappointment with Affeldt as he lowers his head.
Duncan, very powerful. He is the possible tying run. And caught by Barris.
Wow.
And that keeps Albert Pujols from coming up here in the 7th. 4-2 Giants.
Elementary School in Daly City. He was a big hit. The debut, the ribbon cutting of the Aaron Rowan Junior Giants field. Larry Baer was there on hand as well. The Giants do this. The Community Fund renovating baseball parks all across Northern California. A great gift for Rowan and the Giants to renovate Panorama Elementary School in Daly City. And I guess it's not past their bedtime. The kids at Panorama Elementary, they'll be able to see Rowan do up second, I believe, this inning. Guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Raj. That's Raj Mathai, sports director for NBC Bay Area. New pitcher for the Cardinals, Zach McClellan. And for the Giants, it's Andres Torres up for the first time in the game. Torres just activated from the disabled list earlier this week. He made the club in spring training. That's a called strike for the fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Torres, who is an excellent defensive outfielder, covers a lot of ground, can steal bases. He's a fine bunter. But he's quickly behind in the count here to McClellan. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Aaron Rowan is up next.
Tough place to be with his curveball.
And now we know why.
Time now for our Lexus Pursuing Perfection play of the game. And this is going to be a line shot that Emmanuel Barris spears. And if he doesn't make this play, Albert Pujols is coming up with 2 guys on base. As it is, it ends the inning. And now Pujols will have to lead off with nobody on. Great play, and that's our Lexus Pursuing to Perfection play of the game.
When he's got the ability to make plays like that, and the ability to have excellent range, and he's still learning the position, still learning about big league baseball. Here's leadoff man Rowan, and the count quickly 0-2. Rowan led off the first inning with a double. That started a 2-run rally. By the way, Nick Stavanoa, who pinch hit for the pitcher leading off the first half of this inning, stays in the game to play left field. The pitcher is in the number 2 spot where Chris Duncan had been. Duncan out of the game now. One ball and 2 strikes to Rowan. Renteria on deck. Look out. Curveball. Well, that had him. He was thinking the same thing I was thinking. It's coming right at him.
He was thinking his life was over.
Ball almost caught the inside corner. That is a good curveball. Out of play, 2-2.
Now McClellan's got 4 pitches. He's got the pitches that you would see of a starter. He was a starter for most of the first 3 years of his career in professional baseball. So he could do a lot of things with the ball, but I mean, his curveball is clearly his strikeout pitch. If he gets you to a 2-strike and you got your hands full, if he snaps off a good one, good luck.
McClellan with a 1.96 earned run average in 21 relief appearances. 23 innings, only 13 hits allowed this year. That curve, right center field, but that's out toward the wide open spaces of this ballpark. And out number 2 as Ludwig takes it. And Rowan 1 for 4 in the game. McClellan, 23 innings, 13 hits allowed. He has a tendency to get a little wild, though. He's walked 12. But the batting average against him is only 163. Renteria, sinker too low for ball 1. Bob Howry up in the Giants bullpen getting ready. It appears, there he is, number 46, to come in and face Pujols and Ludwig, the 2 sluggers scheduled to lead off the 8th inning for the Cardinals. A ball and a strike to Renteria. Albert Pujols will be coming up first in the 8th inning. Just a little bit low. 2-1. Edgar has had a sacrifice bunt and has since grounded out to short and flied out to right. Officially 0 for 2. Right up the middle, base hit. Edgar, a former Cardinal, gets his first hit of the night. He went to the World Series with the Cardinals back in 2004. And that year for St. Louis, he hit 287. He hit 330 the year before that.
Hey, he won 2 Gold Gloves, 3 Silver Slugger awards.
He was 6 years with the St. Louis Cardinals. And there's a called strike to Randy Winn.
Well, he was the most popular guy during batting practice as the Giants were finishing up and the Cardinals were coming out to get ready to take their batting practice. A lot of Cardinal players went out there and sought out Edgar Renteria.
And the count 1 ball 1 strike to Winn, who has walked and twice grounded out. Officially 0 for 2. Giants ahead 4-2 in the 7th inning. Edgar went to St. Louis when he was still a very young player. Remember, he broke into the big leagues at a very young age with Florida. That is a base hit to right field. And Edgar will go to second and stop. Ludwig comes up firing.
That's the one thing that has happened in this little spell here where the offense has kicked in. Giants are starting to put back-to-back hits together. They'll have 3 and 4 hit innings. And that was something that just was almost non-existent there for about a 10-day period when they had just fallen on hard times with the bat. But it's just a much more freer offense right now. Guys aren't trying to assume too much of the responsibility, too much of the load. You have to be able to trust your teammates. You have to have the feeling that if it gets by your at-bats, somebody's going to pick you up. Somebody is going to get the hit that you couldn't get. And in turn, someday you get the hit that he couldn't get. And that's how it works.
Burris had one of those big hits, 2 out in the 4th inning to knock in the Giants' 4th run of the game. They lead 4-2. Now Benji Molina, the RBI leader, the guy they'd like to get going again. And the curve in the dirt knocked down by Molina.
Well, I mean, this is exactly the situation you wanted to present to Benji Molina. 2 outs, nobody on now, but all of a sudden you get knock, and you get your leading RBI up there. That's exactly how they wanted to set this situation up.
The wind is shifted. It's blowing hard out toward left field. And Renteria thought about it, and then he saw that Yadier was right on top of that one and thought, with 2 down, let's not take any chances.
Smart play. You cannot make the 3rd out at third base. You just cannot do it. And with this guy's track record, you don't want to test the waters. This is too good.
So if Benji gets one airborne to left field right now, it looks like he would get a little push. Pretty good wind blowing straight out to left. Been a while since Benji's knocked in a run or had a home run. There's that big curveball, and Benji thought that was too high. 2-1. Talking to Laz Diaz about that one.
Well, and the conversation is simply that. It's too high. But we're starting to see more high pitches called for strikes. I mean, that wasn't that bad. The one fastball that got called up against Chris Duncan, now that was an eye-opener.
On the fists. Yadier going after this one off the bat of his brother Benji. And he's got it. And so it goes for Benji here the last 10 days or so. Howry coming in to face Albert Pujols. 4-2 Giants.
All right, here's our Fry's scenic shot of the game. As you see from an aerial view, the beautiful skyline of San Francisco. Bay Bridge.
Is that Market Street?
Market Street, right down into the Embarcadero's ferry building.
The ferry building is such a great place to go. It's always been a place of transit. People would go down there to catch a ferry and head off somewhere. But you can still do that. And thousands of people do it every day. But now you can go down there. There are great places to eat. You can sit outside and have a look at the bay. So you can have anything from great cheeses to
great
caviar,
breads.
great breads.
Caviar. A wine bar.
Put a little caviar on the bread.
Oh, yeah, back to the ball game. Bob Howry's numbers, 21st game he's been in this year.
Yeah, if he does well, I'm going to take him over there for some champagne and some of that great bread. But he has not had a whole lot of success in the past against Albert Pujols, especially recently.
Well, he's 5 for 9 lifetime. Pujols is of Howry, but 2 of those hits home runs, and he had those 2 home runs within his last 3 at-bats against him, so he knows him.
That one's hit hard. Now Uribe to his feet. Here's the throw. He's out. Nice play by Juan Uribe. That looked like a double for sure.
Well, we're going to make it the Dr. Beers sharp eye of the game, and this, folks, is brilliant because you don't get a lot of time. He falls on it, gets up, and rifles a strike right to Pablo Sandoval. To sharpen your vision, check out Dr. Beers at LASIK2020.com. Something Dwayne Kuiper told us a long time ago. The big guys, they hit the ball on the ground harder than anybody else. You don't get time. Brilliant play from Uribe.
Here's another big guy, Ludwig. Fastball for a strike. Uribe used to be an outstanding shortstop. He was on that same White Sox ball club that won the World Series when Aaron Rowan was there. But he was the everyday shortstop. And a good one. Now Renteria gets to it, spins, out. Another nice play.
Now, when you think about how the 7th inning ended when Emmanuel Burris speared that Chris Duncan shot, that ended the inning. And what Uribe did and what has led up to this beautiful play from Edgar Renteria going far to his left, 360 spins. And right now, if you're the Cardinals, you're thinking this is the greatest defensive team in the history of the game that they're playing. Well, I've always liked this. I mean, for shortstops, it's just a nice little play to show off. They love the 360.
Now Colby Rasmus, the rookie center fielder, he's 1 for 3 with an RBI. And ball 1 from Howry.
I mean, if I'm Bob Howry, I'm figuring just throw it up there. Wherever it gets hit, it's going to get caught. And that is a great feeling to have when you're a pitcher.
Cardinals bullpen is busy. We're in the 8th. The Giants ahead 4-2. 2 down, nobody on. A strike called on the outside. In fact, the Giants are going to get some activity going in their bullpen now as well. Number 38, Brian Wilson, the closer, heads down. Cardinals have a young right-hander in their bullpen, Chris Perez, that they think will maybe one day be the Cardinal closer. Oh, man.
That's nasty. I mean, for Howry, I think this is his best swing and miss pitch. It's a changeup, and it's pure. I mean, there wasn't. Colby Rasmus was sold that was going to be a fastball, and then it just dropped off the plate.
And another changeup. That one he fights off to stay alive. Dodgers lost today. The Padres lost today. The Giants, with a win, would move ahead of the Padres into second place. Nobody's anywhere close to the Dodgers in the Western Division. Dodgers have by far the best record in the division and in the league. And in fact, in either league. Popped him up right in the middle. And Renteria That's the inning. 3 up and 3 down. Strong inning from Howry. 10 pitches. Sandoval coming up for the Giants. In the last of the 8th inning, he's had a couple of hits and he scored a run back in the 4th.
Well, he also had a nice read of the triple that went off the bat of Fred Lewis. I mean, we weren't even convinced that that ball was going to go over the head of Colby Rasmus, just watching the Cardinal center fielder react to the ball off the crack of the bat. But not a problem for Sandoval, an easy score.
Here's Chris Perez on to pitch now for St. Louis. And they feel that he's got the stuff to be a closer. And in fact, when the season started, it looked like he might be the closer right now, but that's not the way it's turned out. Ryan Franklin has done most of the closing for St. Louis. That one knocked the mask right off the head of Las Diaz.
Folks, I'm just telling you right now, you do not want to get in a fist fight with Las Diaz. This man can take a punch. He didn't even blink. That's impressive.
He is a tough guy. I've seen him get hit much worse than that, and he goes right back in there, doesn't flinch. That slider fouled out of play. Strike 2 to Sandoval.
Well, you see the quality of stuff that you're getting from Perez. I mean, he's got closer stuff. The problem is he just doesn't have consistency with the location. He will make location mistakes, and he will walk people. Perez in 13 innings has walked 12 guys, and you cannot do that and expect to close out games.
1-2. Nate Sherholtz out on deck with the pitcher due up next. Brian Wilson heating up in the Giants bullpen. We're in the last of the 8th. The Giants ahead 4-2. 4 runs, 9 hits for the Giants. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Cardinals. There's Ryan. Slings it over to first for the out. And Sandoval 2 for 4. Perez is only 23 years old. This is his 4th year in professional baseball, so he's very wry.
But what do you do if you're an umpire and you take one in the grill like that? You get your mask and you say, "Thank you." And he meant that kiss.
I love you, man.
We're tied. We're good. We're good. We're tied.
Now Travis Ishikawa is going to be the pinch hitter, as Sherholtz had been out there, but apparently Sherholtz was going to come up if Sandoval got on base or hit an extra base hit or whatever. Instead, they bring up Ishikawa, who's more of a threat to hit a home run. Although he's not been hitting many for the Giants this year. He's got 1 home run in 107 at bats, 15 batted in at .262 average. He'd been doing his best hitting here recently. Backdoor slider. Missed. Maybe a little bit up, maybe a little off the outside. 2-1 the count. Ishikawa not going to play much at first base with Sandoval over there now. Sandoval back in the lineup, but he's got that elbow problem, and the Giants don't want him to risk going down with something more serious with all those constant throws from third base. So he's at first base at least for a while. It might be a long time too.
No, you're right. He has a strain in his right elbow with all the throwing that is required with third baseman. They don't want to stress it out. And I think the fear is that it might be an injury that might lead to a more severe problem. And the prospects of losing his bat for a long extended period of time is not good.
Played a lot of first base last year when he came up with the Giants, and Ishikawa draws a walk with one out. And that'll bring up Uribe. What a play Uribe made on a would-be double by Albert Pujols in the first half of this inning. And Albert was leading off the inning in a 2-run game with the slugger Ludwig coming up next. And Pujols changed the whole tenor of the inning.
Well, this was the play we're talking about, an absolute bullet. Really all Uribe had time to do was take one step and fall down. And speared it, made a great play.
One of the writers asked Uribe about playing third base with Sandoval out. He says, you know, you've been a shortstop, you played some second base. He said, anybody who played short on a regular basis in the big leagues have no problem playing third base or anywhere else for that matter. So, okay, now we've seen him in action. He's right. 0-1 the count. Although Joe Morgan always said it was the guys who played second base. Any guy who could play second base.
Yeah, you know, as J.T. Snow used to say, the first baseman's the guy.
If you can play first base, you can play anywhere. And that's strike 2 to Uribe, who is 0 for 3.
Well, I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean, how many times have you seen the best athlete on the field be the shortstop?
0-2. Ooh, the high hard one blew him away.
You know, and the thing about Perez that is so unique is when he gets down underneath and throws that fastball, in the eye of the hitter, it looks like it's a rising fastball. Now, physicists will tell you it's impossible. But anybody that just took a swing like Uribe got on the fastball that he got, he'll tell you it's a rising fastball. That's nasty.
Uribe passes by Randy Johnson, who right now is scheduled for Wednesday at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C., looking for his 300th win. Giants go on the road after this weekend. They got the 6:05 start tomorrow night and 1:05 on Sunday. And then they're going for 10 games. 3 in Washington. Lincecum and Johnson set to go the first 2 games there. And there'll be a lot going on that night when the big unit takes the mound against Ryan Zimmerman, Nick Johnson, and the Nationals.
Well, he's starting to stack good outings up back to back now. He's got his mechanics going.
And he will get a couple of extra days off with the day off yesterday and the day off Monday, going into his start Wednesday.
Very important.
Burris, the hitter, 1 for 3 with an RBI. And he pops a foul out of play. A ball and 2 strikes. Giants have the 3 in Washington, and then they go to Miami, 4 with the Marlins. Both of those ball clubs can hit. And when you go to Florida this year, you're going to face a lot of guys throwing 94, 95 miles an hour or more night after night and pitcher after pitcher.
They're physical.
Slider off the outside, 2-2 the count. And then finally the Giants, after 4 in Miami, will go to Phoenix for 3 with the D-backs under their new manager, A.J. Hinch. 2-2 the count to Burris. Torres on deck. That's another base hit. He hooked that slider right through, and Ishikawa's going to go to third.
Well, that's the kind of hit we watched Emmanuel Burris have all spring. It's just like a magic wand that he had. When he would make contact, it would find a hole through the infield. And here, getting a pretty good pitch to hit. Look at it coming right across the belt. Kind of a lazy breaking ball. I'll tell you right now, every mistake to location that the Cardinals have made to Emmanuel Burris tonight, he's made him pay.
So Andres Torres now trying to drive in a very valuable run. The Giants already leading by 2, but a 2-run advantage. If the Cardinals get one man on base, the next guy becomes the possible tying run. So Torres, his second trip to the plate, he struck out in the 7th against McClellan, and he could give the Giants a run that could be very big. Runners at first and third, 2 down. And he blows the fastball right by him.
Good swing. Torres was really swinging the bat well when he was down rehabbing in Fresno. I asked him how his stroke was. He said, I'm seeing the ball well right now. And hitters will tell you. They tell you when they are, and they'll tell you when they're not.
There's that double fake. Nothing going on for the Giants. By the way, the Giants have extra activity going on their bullpen now. Sergio Romo, just activated from the disabled list before this game, has started to warm up. I suppose just in case the Giants turn this into a non-save situation for Wilson. And they do it again here, thinking that something's up with Burris. One strike to count to Andres Torres. Ishikawa at third, Burris at first. There goes Burris, and a foul will come back into the second deck.
Well, that's a jump. Take a look at the high leg kick from Perez, and because of his youth, a lot of guys that young who throw as hard as he does, they're reluctant to give up motion. They think when they do, they're going to give up stuff. And when he lifts that high leg kick, his unload time is 1.4 and above. Now, that's slow.
1-2 now to Torres. Aaron Rowand on deck would be next. The Giants ahead 4-2 here in the 8th inning. Now Perez delivers. Too high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Torres battling it out here with the young Chris Perez. Torres, who is a guy trying to make the club during spring training, but he's not a young guy. He's 31 years old. He's had previous big league experience with the Tigers, the Blue Jays. There goes the run of the ball. Is fouled back to the screen as Burris took off again from first. And we'll have to go back.
Bruce Bochy just trying to simply take advantage of a pitcher that's slow going to play. 1.4, 1.44, 1.39. Those are slow times. Average time is 1.25 seconds.
He's not running this time. Ooh, man, that slider, a check swing, an appeal. No, says Chuck Merriweather from third base, but that pitch, it didn't look too bad whether he swung or not.
Well, it's a good pitch when you've got a 2-2 count. You've got a chance to go out of the strike zone. It was almost called a strike, and it was almost a check swing. So, turns out to be a big league hang with him.
There goes Burris. The backdoor slider, strike 3 called. Perez, a 25-pitch inning. Now Wilson comes in. Molina coming up, 4-2 Giants.
Ninth inning, Travis Ishikawa stays in the ball game. He'll play first base. And in to pitch is Brian Wilson, Giants closer. And the numbers for Wilson look like this. 23rd time he's taken the ball, 2 and 3, 10 for 13 in saves, 22 strikeouts in 22 innings pitched.
Yadier Molina. 1 ball and no strikes. Molina, then Joe Thurston and Nick Stavanoa. Those are the 3 due up here for the Cardinals in the 9th. That's a called strike at 94 miles an hour.
Well, he's got a good fastball, but he's starting to do a couple different things with the fastball. He's changing the grip, throwing more two-seam fastballs. He's changing the movement of the fastball in the eye of the hitter.
Ooh, very high. Came in at 97, but not close to the strike zone. 2-1 the count.
Got underneath that little push in that. You see that as a pitcher, and you miss that badly upstairs. You try and shorten your stride and get out over your foot a little more, lower your sights.
Rowan gets there. 1 away. Shallow right center. So Joe Thurston will come up. He's 0 for 3. 2 ground outs to second and a strikeout. Wilson got the save here against Atlanta on Wednesday with a scoreless 9th inning. Now trying to make it 2 in a row. This is a Matt Cain game. Cain went 6 1/3, 2 runs, 1 earned run allowed. And there's ball 1 to Thurston. Stavanoa, a right-handed hitter, on deck. So Wilson is trying to save the 6th win of the year for Matt Cain. A little bit too low. 2-0 the count. 35,266. The paid crowd. Giants have gone past 800,000. Did in fact on Wednesday. 845,000 plus now for the year. That's called strike. And tonight's crowd just a little above the average crowd for the year. 25 dates. Tomorrow at 6:05. Excellent matchup. Barry Zito for the Giants and Chris Carpenter for the Cardinals. A couple of former Cy Young winners. Carpenter just recently back from the DL. Little pop-up quickly over in foul ground. Uribe. 2 down.
You know, when you throw as hard as Brian Wilson, and for the most part of his big league career, he's been throwing 4-seam fastballs, and a lot of it has to do with him putting a number up there, a 98, 99 mile an hour fastball. But a 4-seam fastball can be very straight. When you throw a 2-seam fastball, you're going to lose velocity. He'll throw it 95, 96, but he'll get movement much different than that of a straight 4-seamer.
Nick Stavanoa out on a check swing comebacker in his only at bat. Fastball crackling through there at 98 miles an hour. Strike 1 call.
You know, you get the stands going and you get everybody on their feet for that last out. There's no greater way to fuel a short reliever than by that emotion from the fans. Plug it into what he's doing.
Ishikawa over at first, by the way, as the ball is lofted high down the right field line. Randy Wynn gets there and just into foul ground by the bullpen mound. He's got it, and the Giants have defeated the Cardinals for their 4th consecutive win. 4-2 the final, and a win for Matt Cain, his 6th of the year. Cain